Hey guys, so it's that time of year again, iPhone season, and Apple just announced the next wave of S upgrades to their iPhone line. The iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6s Plus are almost physically identical to last year's models. The only difference being this time is that they're a little bit taller, a little bit wider, and a little bit deeper. But we're talking tenths of a millimeter, so nothing that's drastic that you're definitely going to notice. But what you will kind of sort of notice is that the build material, the aluminum that's being used, is of a higher grade. It's called 7000 series aluminum, and it's the type used in the aerospace industry, so like the Boeing 747 jet that you take on business trips and on vacations. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm a manufacturing engineer, so I specialize in material and material types. So what I can tell you for sure is that not only is this a higher and more expensive grade of aluminum, but it's also stronger and more durable, which hopefully means there's going to be less bending issues and less of this bend gate issue going all around. That's not to say you won't be able to snap it in half if you try, but the whole issue of it happening involuntarily, I think it's going to be almost completely erased. But this rigidity does come at the price of its weight. Now, last year, the iPhone 6 weighed in at 129 grams, but now it's 14 grams heavier at 143. And the iPhone 6 Plus was 172, and now it's 192, which is a much bigger difference. 20 grams may not seem like a lot at first, but the iPhone 6 Plus was already a pretty heavy phone, so this thing is going to be an absolute beast, and I think I'm probably going to be getting this one. And although I do personally like heavier phones, I like the feel in the hand, it gives much more of a dense feeling, a feeling of quality. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to like this. It might just be too much for even me, so we'll just have to see. But as far as new features for the S line, the biggest probably has to be 3D Touch, which is basically just a rebranding of the term Force Touch that was used in the Apple Watch. Now in the Apple Watch, it didn't really seem to have a lot of useful applications, it was kind of limited, but in the new iPhone 6s and 6s Plus line, I think it's got a lot more useful applications. Basically, an oversimplification would be to call it a right click, but it's definitely a lot more than that. So let's say, for instance, you were using the Maps app. You'd be able to lightly press on it to give you the options to either just go directly home or maybe to drop a pin at that location so that you can use it for a GPS location later on. So like if you're in the email app, you have the option to, as Apple puts it, to lightly press to pop in to the email to just quickly view it, or you can do a deeper press to go fully into the email and just view it as you normally would otherwise. And also you have the ability to look at links, so say you get a link in an email or in a text message, you can just lightly press to get a preview of the website, the top of the page that you would see if you went there fully, or you can do a full click in and then you can get to the web page and fully open up the Safari app. But I'll tell you right now, probably the most used 3D Touch function is going to be for the camera app to get people into the selfie camera just super quick. Mark my words, it's just going to be the most used. And as far as feedback, it's the exact same as the Apple Watch. It has its own taptic engine that behaves exactly the same as the Apple Watch. You just give a light touch and it gives you a light tap, and it gives you a heavier, more aggressive rattle or tap, hammer tap with a full press. But the most exciting improvement, as it always has been for me with any smartphone, is the camera. And this time they've really improved it all around. They've expanded the pixel size for the first time in a while from 8 to 12 megapixels, which is a pretty big jump for Apple, which also means that we now have the ability to do 4K video. And not only that, Apple claims that you'll be able to edit 4K video on the iPhone with their new iMovie app, which is actually pretty exciting. I may actually do that for my camera test when I'm testing out the 6 Plus or 6s Plus or the iPhone 6s, whichever one I end up buying. I may just upload directly from the iPhone to test that whole feature out. I'm actually pretty excited about that. But the image quality is what I'll be completely focused on, and Apple has assured us that despite increasing the amount of pixels, they have not hurt image quality whatsoever. And optical image stabilization is now available in both models, so hopefully those shaky shots, especially in low light conditions, will be greatly reduced. Other technological tweaks like tone mapping and focus pixels have also been improved to deliver what Apple claims are awe-inspiring photos, and I certainly hope that that's the case. And one other camera feature that Apple seemed to really be toting was live photo, which essentially is kind of like a screensaver type photo video hybrid that behaves the same way as taking any other photo. You just have it activated and you tap to take a photo, but essentially it's leaving the sensor on for a longer period of time and taking a series of photos that you can play back with 3D Touch that gives you this little mini screensaver-like movie. I kind of think it's pretty gimmicky, but the truth is I'll probably take one of my goddaughter and I'll put it on my phone and I'll absolutely love it. And a big upgrade for any Snapchat, Periscope, and selfie-loving consumer is that the front-facing camera has gotten a massive upgrade. It's up from 1.2 megapixels to 5 megapixels. And on top of that, they're also using a software ability to use the display to make what they call a retina flash, which they're saying is two-toned and will hopefully be able to illuminate those dark situations that we always seem to find ourselves in when we're trying to take that perfect selfie with our friends. The only downside about the front-facing camera really is that it's the same. Last year with video recording, FaceTime is only maxed out at 720p. Well guys, that's basically it. I just wanted to give you all a really quick recap of basically the iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6s Plus, just the kind of the highlights, the things that pop out the most. Everything else that I didn't mention is pretty much the same. We have a new processor. It's an A9 processor. It's supposed to, as we say every year, it's the double the performance, double the graphics, super better, but I mean, those are just specs for now. I was focusing more on just the features, the things that were really exciting, like that camera, which I really can't wait to test out. Honestly, I think it could be one of the best. I'll be comparing it to a lot of my other Android smartphones like the LG G4 and the Galaxy S6 Edge, which are two of my absolute favorite cameras. But yeah, it looks promising, and like I told you before, I'm not sure if I'm going to get the 6S or the 6S Plus. I'll kind of decide last minute when I make my pre-order, but definitely let me know down